With MakingStarWars.net.
Hi, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. This is my sketchy friend Rob. Today we're going to be presenting you 15 things you didn't know about Tuscan Raiders. Number 1, Tuscans live on a sand planet. You probably didn't know that, dummy. What's number 2, Rob?
Man, dude, they really love what do they call it? Man, I say I fucked it up. Dude,
Yeah.
there's this whole style of music
fucked it
that's
up.
like squirrel nut zippers, but like techno. It sounds like the commercial to Six Flags. You know what I'm talking about?
Number 2, Tuscan Raiders have shit-tasted music.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Shit tasting music. Wasn't prepared. We're going to come on here and put the Tuscans on blast. Like,
That was the plan. Number 3, they covered their face because they so ugly. Number 4, why are they so ugly? Number 6.
That's not even a question mark.
Number 6. I could tell you, but then I'd have to pew stab right after. Hey man, I saw this guy on the internet and he was talking about how Star Trek is better than the Clone Wars. It doesn't have the problems of the Clone Wars. Get off my show! No, I'm kidding.
Both Star Trek and Star Trek have the JJ problem, so let's super. See, JJ's going for the 3 S's: first Star Trek, then Star Wars, and next Superman.
Oh, and the next 2 S's self suck.
Wait till J.J. Abrams does Suicide Squad, and then they're like, the David Ayer cut was really the best one. Like it's like they're all look. Even the James Gunn movie, it's all right. It's not, it's not genius. It's fun, but it's not,
Yeah,
it's all right. It's okay.
Right.
Could be worse. Could be better.
Number
It's about the
6.
same.
The day after, the Tuscan sat on that lizard thing, and it went in his butt, and he had the best trip of his life. Now, all Tuscan lizards are taken rectally. Sorry, I have all of these, all this research I did. Do your own research, bro. Do your own research.
That's how I ended up on this show.
Oh.
It's true.
And now we're all flat earthers. We're all flat earthers.
Dude, so we did this UFO show. Hold on,
What's
you and I did a UFO show Saturday about this Kentucky UFO thing in the 60s. And there's like a whole YouTube info warning underneath the video now about that event. Like
wait, and from our show?
Yeah, like like if you mention the pandy, it puts a pandy warning underneath the video, right?
Yeah.
Like to inform. It does the same thing for this UFO event. It's the strangest thing. Like, and then today I got one of those. Every now and then, do you ever get one of those like how to rate a video in your feed? Like, does this video more or better? Our UFO video came up in my feed. Is this more helpful or less helpful? I'm like, if I say yes, will I get more crazy UFO videos I don't want, or will I help our video, right? So I said yes, but then they're like, how is it helpful? I'm like, shit.
So I was on it, all right? It was me. It was me, all right?
It says informative, something, and then it said entertaining. I clicked that because it's the only one they can't disprove. Yeah. And then the minute I said entertaining, it went, we're fine. Like, it apparently doesn't want that info. But,
weird.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, there has been like over the last. I mean, I've seen it actually. Like, they kind of hide UFO results. UFO videos will come out that like will be linked on Reddit, and you're like, whoa, that's amazing. When I search for like the same thing, it doesn't even come up in the search. And what doesn't Google want us to know? That's the question. But yeah, pretty stupid.
How much they're hiding in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico apparently is a big silicon tax shelter now.
Yeah, it's like I mean, the more that it's like so difficult because what you ended up having, like, I mean, how we got to where we are as a society in the last like decade, starting with stuff like about like Obama's birth certificate onward, was the fact that you just had a bunch of dummies who could never operate a computer, who used to just get all of their news handed to them from the local TV news. And so there was a little bit of responsibility, even though it was super shabby. And then they all got cell phones. That changed everything, right? They all got phones, and then now they hit the button and then it comes to them. They don't have to read it anymore. Like you could go down a rabbit hole talking about how, dolphins have lasers on their back and it's like a whole thing. But now YouTube will just tell them, and then we end up where we're at. But I mean, we had a responsible discussion. I presented actual like history, and they're making it sound like it's like we're talking about not getting vaccinated. Like, that's ridiculous, YouTube.
It's just one of those like info, like they have to explain the historical event thing, and I'm like, what historical event? It's fucking. I mean, this is literally like, unless Robert Stack is gonna narrate it for me when I click on that.
Yeah, but my whole thing is that it wasn't like we presented anything contradictory. Like, everything that I presented in there was actual straight up truth. It's not even like up for debate. Like, it was was the murder of the guy in the UFO episode, was it? Even in the episode, I'm like, I kind of don't think so. I mean, but ufologists say so, but that's crazy.
I just like how our show's slowly becoming GeoCities.
Yeah.
We need like an animated fire GIF in the background, some rainbows, some stars, a 3D hologram cube.
Dude, right? You know what? I think you're gonna regret everything you just said right now. You've made a huge mistake.
I'm waiting for the day our show has right in the bottom. It's the epilepsy warning.
I mean, right? like
it's too much color. It's too much.
There we go, dude.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Faking Star Wars show.
Aching Star Wars show. I'm aching for your love, girl. Just aching for it. Yeah, I was like looking at some of the themes. I was like messing around with it, and there's a couple where you're just like, really? Like, you can do that? Because we're definitely going Shinobi for the rest of the show. Just so you know. Here we go. We got ninja stars and shit. It's pretty fucking cool, right?
Doing, man.
It's pretty fucking cool, dude. Hey, dude, you got my Tom Hardy shirt, man? Because I'm pretty sure I let you borrow it, and I couldn't find it when I was in my closet today, dude.
It's underneath all my affliction, fucking doublers.
Yes, it has the blood of my enemies on it. Sorry, I had to lick the ninja star. That's normal, right? That's like a normal thing that you do, right? Is just licking ninja stars.
What are you talking about? This is the Kinberg mode. This is what Simon Kinberg puts on all. Even when he submits scripts, it has like this sort of thing. So he keeps. Why would you not give someone work who submits your script in a Shinobi theme?
Yeah, I wonder if anybody uses this theme like seriously. If anybody's like, this is me. This is me right now.
And they're playing like Roblox, you know what I mean? Like really aggressively.
All right.
Yeah. Those are those people that like listen to System of the Down and watch Bionicle. My nephew's gonna get so mad at me. Fuck, Bionicle's good. Like, all right.
Hey, man, Bionicle really lets me share my creativity, bro.
See, we got all of us right now are like, we're all hitting 40, so like we're in charge of Hollywood like jokes, right? That's how it works. That's why you get Ted Lassos and all these like. I'm waiting for all these reverential stuff from the 90s and late 80s, but when my nephew gets to be 40, like, what are they gonna? I guess they're gonna brag about PlayStation 3 and Bionicle. I mean, I guess the Clone Wars. Well, you think the Clone Troopers will be a big thing with them?
I don't know. I mean, no,
Well,
that's
you
already
don't know that.
happening now. That's already happening now. I mean, like the Clone Wars generation is already kind of like really coming into the whole Star Wars thing.
Do we have a Canadian theme?
I think it's on right. It's on right now. I think.
I don't know, man. Johnny's too aggressive for this.
Johnny sent me his guess at what a Tuscan Raider looked like without its mask, because by the way, Meg did a good video today on it, and then that's why I made that cover, because I had that Luke Skywalker looking like Prince picture up, and I was like,
there were pancakes in that video. I missed it.
There were pancakes. Yeah, lots of pancakes.
I want blue milk pancakes. I want blue milk pancakes with some b-ball.
Dude, you shouldn't be bringing up pancakes while we're on the show right now.
Oh, like, pancakes.
I mean, we're so in between. Like, but Johnny sent me this picture. He found it on Google. But yeah,
I'm telling you right now, do it. And I want the oh really, or the oh real, you know, with the Tuscan. It's a oh man, that's so. There we have walrus men, and then Tuscans look like the O'Reilly beavers, right? They look like beavers. It's the best.
Yeah,
I mean, wood sticks.
What I loved about it is like when you actually like seriously look at it. I mean, we were talking last week. Like, there is no right answer to that. Like, if you ever take the Tuscan Raider mask off, it's a mistake. I mean, you could make it super like, I don't know. It's just like the mask and the whole thing is like the embodiment.
What if they're just beautiful humans? What if they're just beautiful humans?
Like,
you know, but they just wear a bunch of shit on them. Like, that's it. You know, like they're super smooth. Because they don't want to look like Baru. Because look what happens when you expose yourself to the sun. Like Owen and Baru aged 50 years and 20. You know.
Number 7. Tuscan Raiders unwrap their wrappings at night, and they're very beautiful for their tribal sex orgies. But they wrap back up and go back to work in the morning, just like the rest
Timothy
of us.
Chalamet and Zendaya to be. Zendaya is actually the warrior female Tuscan, and Timothy Chalamet is the tribal leader this whole time.
Man, Jesse had IHOP this morning.
I had IHOP.
To wear an affliction shirt correctly, you need to furrow your brow and walk around like you have an invisible microwave under your arm. I like that. Yeah.
Marty McKay, man, you're winning. You've thrown down the gauntlet. Joel has to pick it up. You are winning.
Jesse carrying the torch of the Wommels.
I forgot about Wommels.
Yeah, and also, in case people don't know, number 8, every generation, a Tuscan has a child, and it's kind of malformed and really stupid, but very strong. They call it a Tuscan strong baby, and those grow up to be Wommels.
Strong baby sounds like a real aggressive, like a real aggressive kid who gets their $2, right? Like remember the I want my $2 biker, you know, from Better Off Dead. This is like the Tuscan version of that. He gets his money. Yeah. And when a strong baby, they just drop off the kid.
Okay, I was just about to make a joke, but then I was thinking, like, you know what? That would be really fucking cool. It's like, I want a Tuscan mummy. Wouldn't a Tuscan mummy be badass? Like, think about it, like straight up mummies, because they have like the wrappings and stuff. But a Tuscan mummy, have that shit come to life, chase them around like the Three Stooges or something, you know? Yeah, that'd be fun.
Like Boba's like, woo! Versus the Tuscan mummy.
But anyways, in case anybody's wondering, I love Boba Fett, and that's why I picked this this theme for the show. It's going to be the theme from now on.
We're defying all YouTube help at this point. Like all the things they tell you to do, don't do, right? Like we're doing it. What like if boobs facing one another here? Like there's a boob and there's a like,
oh, this show loves titties. This is a titty show for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
it's an acorn UFO. I mean, but then we'll get another warning.
Dude, can you just shut the fuck up for a second while I do my featured image for this episode?
Okay.
You know how they always do those fucking things. Like, how do you not want to punch yourself in the dick when you do that? I mean, you're a person.
There's some people I really enjoy their take, but they're doing those stupid thumbnails now, and I'm just like, why? It's not whatever algorithm they do today, they're not going to do tomorrow. It's not. It doesn't matter, you know. Like none of this matters. Like it doesn't matter what your thumbnail is.
I mean, they're going to look at our views and go like, oh, those guys just destroy audiences constantly.
What matters is here's what matters. If YouTube decides to put you on their front page recommended list, then you'll get the views. Doesn't matter what your fucking thumbnail is. Doesn't matter. Yeah. You think Ninja or any of those fucking dudes had the thumbnail game figured out? That's how they got big? Like, no, that's not how they got. You know, they got the right sponsors. They were the kinds of people that YouTube wanted on their platform, so they promoted them more. That's it. They don't want us. They don't want these guys talking about Star Wars all day.
I'm really confused. Are you telling me to go back to the Ninja theme? Is that what you're saying right now?
No, we like having female guests on the show.
Yeah,
other people's fucking diverse opinions, you know. But
where the fuck is Max? Where you at, Max?
I do want Ask a Ninja to come back though, like more than anything. Ask a Ninja is my favorite of all time.
All right. I'm gonna try for a second to be on topic for whatever the hell's going on right now. We haven't seen this.
We're gonna be talking about episode 3 for 4 fucking days. 1 point days from now. 1.5 days from now.
I'm hoping. Oh yeah, you watched the Kevin Smith episode with that dude, and with
Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin do a show called Fat Man on Batman or Fat Man Beyond now. And they had Dave
I don't appreciate the fat shaming there, Kevin Smith. What the fuck, dude?
They're both fat. Bitch. They love it.
You fat fucking bitches. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my.
He's Catholic, so shaming comes with the fucking. He was raised Catholic. How about that? But they had Dave Klein on, who was the DP on episode. Was it 14? Was it? I think it was called Trajectory, right? The Robert Rodriguez Boba Fett episode.
Okay.
And then he was DP on episode 1 of Boba Fett, and he'll be DP on episode 3, 5, 6, and 7. Definitely 5, 6, and 7.
And DP, that's a double penetrator?
No. Look, your contacts will complain to you about that, right? Like,
no,
don't care about the DP.
No,
they're the ones that make the things look pretty. They're the ones that control the light and the images, what you see on camera. They look at Doug Chain's art and then do the best they can.
Okay, so you're saying it's like the opposite of what I'm doing back here, letting a 7-year-old do the lighting for the show.
I'm gonna say this. Dave Klein, it was he did all of Kevin's movies, I think, except for the most recent one, Clerks 3. I like his look for human real world melodramas. He did the Deadwood TV movie. Wasn't a big fan of the way it looked.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Deadwood TV
he did the episode with Boba Fett and the Mando. Wasn't a fan of the DP work, you know, and the first episode, not a fan of it. So I'm not saying it's bad,
and I still don't know. I still don't actually know whose fault that really is. I mean, that episode does not look good. It is. I mean, I think it's. I know
it is the DP's job to make it look visual. Good. When you see the Batman trailer, that's Greg Fraser on DP. Greg Fraser did the episode of Mando where he's in the. Remember, he sets that dude on fire, and he's in the.
Oh sure.
That warehouse. He fucking Rogue One. You know,
Yeah,
like
you did Kurt Cobain Batman, right?
Kurt Cobain. Is it Twilight Batman or Kurt Cobain, or we can merge them all? Like Kurt.
We can. How about twinkling Kurt Cobain Batman? Can we do that one?
You know, if he starts using venom in these movies, then he will be a Cobain. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse's laughing.
Maybe
So,
he's gonna start. Maybe he's gonna start like mainlining Smilex in that Batman movie. You know? No.
You know, I'm the only guy who didn't like that they cast Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I thought that was a move that was 10 years too late. You know?
Yeah.
At the time, I was like, get
it was perfect.
Get the dude from Streets of Fire. What's his fucking name?
He goes, "This town needs an enema," and I'm like, "Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does." Joker.
Willem Dafoe. That was my 10-year-old pick.
Well,
I like all the casting. I mean,
for the most part, I'm not somebody who just doesn't like people. But William Dafoe just like creeps me out, like not like in a good way. Like so, and so does John Travolta. John Travolta and William Dafoe. I just don't want to look at those guys ever.
Is it William or Willem? I thought it was Willem.
I don't know if it's a Willem fucking. I don't know. Weirdo Dafoe. But yeah, not a fan.
You talk about the Tuscans, like who cares? So like,
number 8. Look, Tuscan Raiders look like William Dafoe under the wraps.
What if they do? What if they're Willem Dafoe
clones?
Willem de clones.
Willem. You know that there used to be a Star Wars character George Lucas was always trying to make happen. It was his fetch, which was Willard. Lots of
give
Willard.
Marty McKay one. You give Marty McKay one compliment, and he won't stop fucking. Now he's just, it's like, all right, Marty, just don't have to, just chill.
Marty, I appreciated it, Marty. I don't know about it. Oh, and by the way, motherfucker, do or do not. There is no try. Give me a break. You learned that in 1980. Come on. And thank you for that compliment. I appreciate that one. I mean, except for the fact where, like, but that shower scene, right? Remember that?
Anyway. I think Dave Klein would be able to shoot a great Porky's movie. I tend to prefer artistic lighting, especially in fantasy and sci-fi and genre film. Like the Batman looks great because it don't look realistic. When the Batman looks like the Dark Knight, I'm like, there's some of it that looks good and some of it just looks like a dude sitting on a building.
I like loosely read like people covering the story of that, and it was kind of, I don't know, I didn't watch the whole interview, so maybe I am wrong, but he says to watch the last 3 episodes because they're the best, and they're the episodes that he did. So I felt like that was sort of almost a little bit of a joke. A little bit. Am I reading?
Well, you talk about Dave Klein during the interview. They asked him what episodes they should be looked for. He can't say anything because of his NDA. So he just mentioned watch the 3 episodes that he does the DP on because that's all he can say.
Yeah,
it's kind of he was only on for a few minutes. I mean, he confirmed a couple things. So one, you and I have joked since the Mando that when that episode in the Mando of Boba Fett where he waxes all those, he murks all those stormtroopers. I'm like, hey, it looks like Simi Valley or Thousand Oaks. And he's like, yeah, they actually went out and shot in Simi Valley. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Like that right there looks like, space David Lean, Lawrence of Arabia, but like,
something that I don't know if this connects at all, but I have been wondering if that little temple thing that Grogu goes to, that like stone that Grogu goes to call to Luke, it could be in Kenobi, just based off of the fact that they filmed some stuff for Kenobi out there. I never learned exactly. I knew where at in this area that it was, but not exactly where it was. And it was too big to go out and try to like find, you know what I mean? Like I would have had to have been on like an ATV or something to find it, but they did film stuff for Kenobi out in a place like that. I've been wondering if it's the same spot. You know what I mean? And if that does happen, speculation on my part at the moment, but if that does happen in Kenobi, when we go there, we'll have to see how it looks. Does it look any different? with a different DB, or
it's just got a bunch of tagging and a spot where teenagers piss, but like
Kenobi's with like a bunch of 80s goth kids smoking cigarettes. Like, yeah, man, it is all a lie. But yeah.
But I'm appreciative that cats like Klein come on and talk, and my hope is that that you just settle in and you grow a bit, like you just change the method. I think that episode of Mando that looks the way it does, where we're like, it's kind of like whatever lighting, I gave it a pass because I'm like, well, this is where they shot all the goofy fights in the $6 Million Man. If you ever watched $6 Million Man in the 70s, it's always like right out in the back lot on a rock and they punch a guy and they're like, or like the Incredible Hulk, like all of a sudden he's just fighting. They're in a city, but then they cut to like they're in some bushes along a tree, like a hill ledge, and he jumps off the rock, and I'm like, all right, so they're invoking a little bit of that 70s TV here. I'll give it a pass, but that's it, man. Like I'm not when they show clips of episode 1 of Book of Boba Fett next to shots from episode 2, I can tell. Like beyond, I know the scenes, just compositionally, with the lighting, it's dramatically different, and some of the fans out there won't, but I can really see the difference. So I don't understand the thinking on this. He must be like just a treasure to have on set, which helps sometimes with jobs too. Like if you're like the dude who always gets shit done and you come in on budget, and you're super positive and everything's getting done, you're able to handle multiple projects, and he's probably really good worker. But I just wish these shows look more artistic rather than
right
70s television.
I mean, I really for the most part thought it looked just fine until we got to the moment where they get onto the ground. Like for the most part, it felt like Star Wars the whole time. It looked like it for the most part, but it was once we got to that moment where I was like, I don't know about this.
I wonder how that look, the look that he has. I wonder. Well, I know what it looks like on film because I can see Chasing Amy in those films, which look great. I wonder if you took the same footage and were able to run it through some not shitty filters, but added real good film grain, if it changes the look. Like I wonder if the digital cleanliness of it also, factors in a little bit.
Right. Oh yeah. By the way, I was going to say something at the top of the show, but I got distracted. Our buddy Star Wars Santa got a little injured today, and or over the weekend. Yeah. So I didn't do a show this morning, but I hope he's doing well. And if he was going to the doctor, and I'm kind of wondering, I don't know what kind of pain he's in, but if they dope them all up, it might be fun to do a show with them. But if they do, I doubt he'll do.
We stuck a lizard up Santa's brain, and now he's gonna give us like,
yeah. But yeah. So, anyways, we hope Santa's doing well because that.
Yeah. They can't take Bob Saget and Santa. What I mean? We can't do it. It's too much.
Yeah, we gotta like do our predictions, but I don't know if the prediction things are up on his page yet. With what
Star Wars Santa's like, oh, get him up now. He's starting to get out of bed. Like, no, sit down.
Oh no! Then he falls.
The predictions
versus other me.
I love these the pink and the cats. By the way, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's adorable. Hi, we're two Star Wars cats who just love Star Wars. Oh, Max.
And if you think I'm being facetious.
Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Felicia. Happy Valentine's Day.
How's it going?
Oh,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
How are you, Rob?
Pretty good.
I'm good. I hope. All I hope is Star Wars Santa's doing all right. That's all I hope.
Yeah, me too. And I'm looking right now just to see.
Jason's wearing a cat hat now.
I love your cat hat.
Cathat.com. Yeah, if there is a link, I will definitely share it. I'm not seeing it I'm in his Discord right now, looking at all the stuff that's going on. He has a good Discord, by the way. And Mark Hamilton's going to help us set up a Making Star Wars Discord, which is going to be fun. It'll be neat. We'll have one. But yeah, I'm trying to see Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, there's so much. There's a lot going on here, not in a bad way, but just in a way where I'm like, where do I get those predictions? Where do I do the predictions for him? I don't see it yet. He might not have put it up. He might be waiting until he does his show. So.
Marty, I love Madonna, so that's why I love the movie. Oh,
I remember as a kid, I watched Desperately Seeking Susan.
I was about to say Desperately Seeking Susan.
I am
desperate.
Hey,
the other night, me and Max were hanging out, we were watching Madonna videos from the what was it like the 10th anniversary of MTV?
10.
Yeah, and I gotta say I have to give Madonna credit for getting a sense of humor, because she always like kind of had rode that line between being pretentious and brilliant, and then but I watched it, I was like, oh, Madonna, you were pretty funny.
My brother's on Nick.
Hey, Nick.
That's my real brother.
How's it going, brother Nick?
My brother from the same mother.
So he's like the Omega to your Boba Fett.
He's like super buff and he's my little big brother.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now Nick, you are the muscle of the show.
See that? Yeah, get down.
I'll check it out.
Nick is our Tuscan strong baby.
I'm gonna do the show like this from now on. So
yeah, you'll probably get more now. Now we're gonna get shared more on the algorithm.
Somewhere somebody's gonna offer to buy my boxers for $25 if I keep.
You know what we should do when we talk about a real big spoiler? We should have a real goofy theme for the spoiler. We just switch over to could be this theme, could be the ninja theme, whatever. But it'd be fun. This way we'll know now. We'll just switch over.
Yeah.
Getting back to Madonna real quick, I watched a Q&A that she did, and she asked someone asked her what makes her laugh the most, and she said to hear someone fart.
Yeah, it's funny,
isn't it?
It's objectively funny.
It's a Jersey girl.
Jersey? No way.
Oh
Jersey.
Yeah, that's our Ciccone. Isn't that her last name? I think it's Ciccone, right?
Ciccone is her last name. Yeah.
Yeah. Sonic Youth had a cover band called Ciccone Youth.
And
oh,
really?
Yeah.
Jason, I love that kitty cat over your face. It's cute.
but now it's about to get spooky.
Star Wars time.
Spooky time.
Remember, she turned down Catwoman,
and she turned down the Matrix.
And she did not turn down peeing on her own feet to Cure Athlete's Foot, though.
Cure Athlete's Foot.
Remember that? I remember a big quote.
I got a friend who believed that, and so he'd pee in the tub. He told me this once, and then he got.
Is it not true?
Athlete's Foot front pee in the tub.
He
was like, I did that, and because Native Americans. I'm like, you fucking idiot. Why do you think you wear shower shoes when you go to the fucking shower? He was like, I got a big rash on my foot. Like, you fucking moron.
Looks like what? Eyes wide shut.
Yeah, when I had like the mask on, and I was like, Peter, submit to me. Yeah. So, anyways, you guys think we're gonna see this on the next episode? Boba being the sneaky Boba, going like, I'm gonna get the Slave One back. I'm gonna fly around, and Bib Fortuna's never gonna catch me.
So this is obviously a flashback.
Yeah,
right?
I
think we're gonna get flashbacks throughout the whole show.
It's a flashback, but it's almost present day. It's like, so I'm wondering if this is going to be the end of the flashbacks.
Okay.
And did that guy on Kevin Smith's show confirm that the flashbacks will end?
No, he didn't talk about anything.
Okay, I heard people saying that, and I saw the quote, and I was like, I don't know how you're getting that. And
I don't think they will. I also think that whatever their fate is tied to Bib Fortuna. Like, I think the killing Bib in 1 second thing comes down to revenge.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just because he wants to take over the palace and run shit. Like if I had to put money down, Bib will be responsible for Tuscan Kid dying or some shit like that in some way. You know what I mean? Like not directly or indirectly. And then he'll just be like, well, the only way to protect everyone is to run this shit, you know?
Right.
I watched the second episode again last night.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of sucks that Fennec Shand had to walk to the palace versus just getting on a fucking speeder. And I looked
what I
at
was
that,
saying the whole time, Max.
Yeah,
like,
you said
walking.
that. I didn't.
Yeah, they're walking.
I didn't see that until yesterday. Because watching it with Johnny on Zoom and he's talking, I couldn't pay attention. So.
Johnny, shh.
Subtle shade. Subtle shade.
Quiet down, Johnny.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. But I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I love Johnny.
But what's crazy is she had to then walk back, right? Because they all walk there again. I just don't understand the walking.
I don't either. And that shot was like, it was a wide shot.
I don't want to keep making the joke until somebody takes me seriously and then gets all upset about it. But like I said, Fennec Shand's booty. It's just too big for the rocket pack. They can't fly out of there. So he made her walk back. He said, walk back until we can both ride the rocket pack together. But,
that's awful.
Yeah. I mean, she's we have to assume she's making the serious cash
or maybe she wanted to torture him by making him walk. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Rob was kind of, I wouldn't say obsessing, but kept mentioning geography, like what is it or whatever. And it's one of those things where they completely don't want to acknowledge any of that, and like because all they have to do in the backstory is if they end up finding out it's 350 miles away. Oh, they got on a speeder, but the speeder would only take them so far. He doesn't dare go near Jabba's palace, and they had to walk the last 2 miles. They'll just come up with some bullshit like that. Like in a novel or something.
I care about geography because it matters pertaining to battles and future battles. Like geography in space matters. If you don't think it doesn't, go watch any of Michael Bay's films. And you're gonna know who's going what, where to what, how is this working out. Like I care about geography in terms of just where characters are in a room, or where they are here on a map. Like I don't need to see every scene where they go, but it is, especially in the first episode, you're like, okay, if they took a speeder to get there, were the Gamorreans going to get the speeder? Why didn't they just drive the speeder in and help get them out of there? Like it does, and especially in if you're invoking gangster films, a getaway car is kind of a big deal, right? Yeah. Like you show up in your, I mean, even Nucky Thompson had that blue car he drove everywhere, the blue Rolls Royce. So I just think plus he's also known for having a ship. And so why he doesn't have the ship or haven't seen it, you go, well, we'll see why. Okay, but we've seen his ship in the other couple episodes. He has it now. Why did they fly that in? Does he not want to fly that in? Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Jesse asks, is Fennec more of a major domo now, more partner and major domo? I'm going to go with the major domo thing is part of the pomp that Boba Fett is trying to eschew. But he doesn't have a litter. He doesn't have he doesn't have a protocol droid. So in a lot of ways, I think he's completely not playing the game right. And one of the things I think about the culture of Tatooine that we're seeing is that they're both used to that stuff, and to some extent it's effective. And by Boba not going with it, by not playing ball how they're used to it, it's going to make him look weak. It's going to bring in all kinds of trouble, and it's going to make it where, like if he did just show up and had a litter on the very first day and all that stuff like that, he probably could get where he wants to be further, but he's trying to make this bigger point that he's like a badass and stuff. So I think what it comes down to is they're essentially just Jabba the Hutt and Boba Fett. I mean, they're almost like essentially she's a Boba Fett. But she's being forced to take on some of that role because he has to talk to somebody. And like when she's like whispering in his ear and they're like talking like, can you believe this guy? Watch that guy and stuff like that. So I got a feeling. I mean, my kind of take is that as the show goes on, we're going to see him be different than the opulent slavers that the Hutts are and that kind of thing that Jabba was. But at the same time, I think that some of that stuff will have to start to come into the fold as the show moves forward, because you can't just be a 2-person mob. You can't really be a crime rule with just 2 people. It's a ridiculous idea. And Boba Fett, he doesn't know how to open up Excel or make a PowerPoint presentation. He's going to need people to help him. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Fennec's going to be like this. She's going to say, this shit is not cutting it. We need a dynasty.
Yeah, because also like as the show goes on, maybe not in the first season, but I still feel like Fennec and Boba are probably going to be a team for the time being, but it has to be destined to fail. I mean, at some point she's going to have to want more, unless they take it into a romantic place between them.
She's like, I want a baby.
She's going to want a baby.
I removed those parts when I fixed you, just to make certain.
Okay.
God, I just remembered that.
I'm trying to tell you, he replaced her innards with robot innards. So, like, when did Boba like pick up that hobby? I'm just trying to figure like what does he grab the Tuscan kid and he grabs a radiator? I'll fix him, and then
I remember someone said, got her by the guts. RoboCut.
Yeah, it's going for the guts.
Marty, the only thing better than Star Wars is Titty Twister era Selma Hayek, and that wins every time. I'm just gonna say it. George Lucas never got close to making anything as cool as Selma Hayek in 1996. So, yeah, easy to answer that one.
By the way, I reposted this video that Jamie Kennedy did when he was doing rap with Bob Saget. Mm-hmm. It's all right. It's funny, but it's not. But there is a George Lucas cameo. He just shows up like a third of the way through the video.
On purpose? On purpose?
Yeah, on purpose. He does a line. Like it's not his voice. He's lip syncing, but he lip syncs a line.
A line of coke.
Can you pull it up?
I can send you the link. Hold on.
Okay.
Because it won't work on my end. We've tried that streaming video, the overlay thing. It's all weird.
Oh, right. Okay.
And just for the record, I did pick up my cat, but by the scruff, so it looked weird when I picked him up.
Here we go. Now you've done it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Youngling Tuscan. Peter says, anyway, if I'm reading that right. Oh, come on, computer. Youngling Tuscan will be there. Sorry. Oh shit, I didn't think about that. Yeah, it would be kind of badass though if how like the whole place is empty. When you get there, Boba's just letting Tuscans live in there. There's like all these Tuscan Raiders shitting on the floor and stuff.
Why do they have to shit?
I sent you the link in your Twitter, by the way.
Oh, they're savages. I'm kidding. Yeah. I was
your titty Twitter.
I was watching. What did I have on? I don't Return of the Jedi the other night, and I was just like looking at like all of the funny stuff in the background because I have this idea for the show, which I probably should have done today because there wasn't really not a lot going on. But we had all of those screenshots of the Mando episode, and we like went through it like kind of like thing by thing. I was thinking we should do that for some of the movies because there's just so much like hilarious stuff going on, in the backgrounds and stuff. Mm-hmm. But there's when you look at in Jabba's palace, and when Luke picks up that bone's fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's Moochie. That's Moochie.
Oh.
If Moochie doesn't show up, if the rumors aren't true and Moochie doesn't show up, that's Moochie, you guys.
That's a suck.
They had a Rancor fight, and because what else could it be? Look how big that bone was.
I don't know.
Am I gonna like get this taken down if I play this video?
Yeah, turn the music, turn the volume down.
All right. Do you have a timestamp or no timestamp?
It's toward the third end, so it's about them just going to the club and Bob Saget like fucking knocking dudes out.
Yeah,
and like being like a pimp.
There's Bob Saget. Man, this looks.
And Bob Saget peas.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you a fan of his?
His stand-up's great. He wasn't like he was a raunchy kind of.
Really?
Yeah,
but he was on Full House. You can't be raunchy.
I know. You should listen to the interview he did on Stern, like in the early 2000s. Bob Saget was on Stern, and you can
really
find out how weird it is that he ended up becoming this lovable icon, but he was always like a dirty Santa.
A dirty Sanchez.
Are we
might
still...
be halfway through. Might be halfway through. We're probably past it. They're in the club when he's in there because Lucas is in the club with him.
They're in a club. Okay.
Yeah, they go in the club.
Into club.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking for.
They're at the club.
They're at the club now. Okay. So George Lucas is, quote, in the club. Is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George is in the club.
There he is.
Oh my God.
Hey. There you go. That'd be a good Lucas screen cap to have though one day, right? Like right there.
Pretty good.
And it just comes out of nowhere too. There's no it has nothing to do with Lucas. They don't mention Star Wars or nothing. It's just
yeah.
Daddy. That's funny.
Yeah, well, where was I? I was going somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but you know, we got all kinds of stuff. I mean, because we still got to get this moment, this really low res looking moment I took.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they sure did show a lot of the third episode. I'm going to assume if that's where it's going, but based off of how it sounded from the Kevin Smith stuff, it sounds like the last couple of episodes is where we're going to get the craziest cameos. There was a TV Insider interview, and by the way, they did like a ton of like Zoom style interviews this week with Ming-Na Wen and Tamara Morrison, and they're not. She's not bad. It's like a little bit cringy, and he can't say anything obviously. So it's just like Tamara Morrison going, "It's gonna blow your mind." Oh yeah, I can't say, and it's just like a lot of that, you know. And then, but then like dancing around like words and stuff the whole time.
Like, why bother doing a press junket or press anything if you can't say shit?
Yeah, it is.
But that's why those canned, like, you know, like a good 5-8 minute canned interview clip to do, right? Like production piece, you know, is the better fit pre-show, right? Like before the show's series is over. Because what can you say? I hate when they have to go, it's gonna blow your mind. That fucking, that's what Rodriguez is doing, right? It's the most craziest shit ever. And I'm like, all right, like craziest stuff.
Wow.
Okay. I mean,
7 episodes, Nick. By the way, 7 episodes. But when we get to the back end, I mean, there are for sure big cameo characters coming. Probably a lot of the ones that were like rumored. I think Tamara Morrison called them colorful characters, and that made everybody go, "Oh, it's Kira because Crimson Dawn is red."
It just means that they're gay. That's all.
That could mean that they're gay. It could mean it could mean all kinds of things. It's you could read into that and make a whole thesis about exactly what it means. Yeah. It's just like at the end of the day, it's just like impossible. Look that. But at the end of the day,
we saw all your Makita posters on the ceiling.
Oh no,
your Makita girl posters. Right?
You saw my.
We saw the mirrors on the ceiling.
My waifu pillow.
The
is that what that's called? I can't remember if that's what that is, but I need a pillow, a pillow girlfriend. Did this happen yet? I've seen it so many fucking times. I don't even know. Yeah, I thought so.
the first episode.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. I was like, we just saw the same shit so many times.
I was kind of nerding out last night because I would always, whenever like there was an announcement of a new movie or show or whatever, I'd always kind of pretend like not pretend. Think about what toys I would have, like collectibles. And I thought, what would I have for Boba Fett? And I have nothing.
Right.
And I never thought that the experience of Boba Fett would be the experience that we're having now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I thought it would be a different, but this is even better. So
yeah,
it is.
That was always like my take on this whole thing was always Boba Fett is an underdefined character. So he's either going to get a hell of a lot better or it's just going to completely not have ever been worth it. Like I think this one's actually riskier than Solo. Because like with Solo, that movie could have been 10 times better, 10 times worse. It's not really going to hurt what Harrison Ford laid down in the Star Wars movies he did. So you're at the end of the day, you're just like, oh, well, we're just going to forget that ever happened. Like young Indiana Jones, for better or worse, isn't hurting or helping Indiana Jones 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the big picture. And so it would have just fallen off if it was bad. But Boba Fett being so underdefined, if this had been really crappy or ends up really crappy, it does really tank. I think it tanks the character because
it's extremely different. I mean, obviously they're making his character like very different from what we knew. You know, the whole like rebirthing and kind of like the evolution of his character.
Yeah.
It's taking it in a different way, I think.
I used to wear my mask all the time. Now I never wear it. I've evolved. Like, yeah, well, you could wear the mask like when you're doing like, I don't know. At least he wore the mask during the hug confrontation. If he hadn't worn the mask during the hug confrontation, there'd be one of those guys bitching about it. Like,
do you think George had any influence in any of this at all?
Nah. I at most the fact that it like Robert Rodriguez already had a relationship with him and that family, if you will, of original Lucasfilm people. I mean, there's always a chance that it like Lucas talked to him, that they had a phone call because like if it was some rando director who was
going to about inflation.
I want to hear Rob's take on that. Yeah. How did that go? How did that conversation go?
You have to make sure you learn about the inflation before you. I warned everyone. It's like they let Kurtz run the economy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If this is a David Klein shot, by the way, then he's getting better. But I suspect this is from the episode he didn't shoot.
Yeah. Well, he did 3. He did the last 3, which would be 4, 5, or was it 5?
I'm told he's also doing episode 3. Like IMDb says that.
Oh, he is?
Well,
let me go double check.
Whatever that says is just completely like who knows.
He said trust IMDb though for his credits on that.
Okay, if he said that's
the only reason why I bring it up. Okay.
Yeah. Then there we have it.
And trust my IMDb too.
I mean, it's like the. I don't not to hamper, not to get hung up on that episode that he did, but the one where they go outside and it looks a little like I think it's probably is fine if it was for something else, but we never seen stormtroopers in just bright ass daylight like in the middle of essentially California, and so that just by itself I think looks off and was the actual start of the bad call of the whole thing, in terms of its look. I like the episode. The episode's fine. The episode's good. But it is, I think, the most TV looking of anything that they've ever done. It does feel like when Star Trek would go out to Vasquez Rocks or something,
Right. So he's scheduled for, it says on the IMDb, chapter 3, 5, 6, and 7. So the only one he's not shooting is 4. So if that's from 3, the very next episode, then yeah, he's definitely got, more than what we've seen so far. And to be fair to Dave, to Mr. Klein, most of the 2 episodes that he shot always take place at 12 o'clock outside in the desert, like, or like a dusty area. It's unfair. Like, you know, like art direction wise, they could have spruced up the sets in some interesting way, but it is, you know, it's the same high contrast, no non-interesting lighting, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's like, I mean, that's what that world looked like. Like they could have given that world electrical storms in the sky, or just something crazy going on. You're like, oh, this is where the force phone calls happen. Like instead, it's just kind of California and Jedi phone. Big ass Zach Morris sized Jedi phone. So, you know what I mean? I kind of feel like more people dropped the ball there than just him, but I acknowledge that I think in terms of design, the ball was dropped.
Maybe it was COVID.
Well, no, that was Mando. And I think they'd already filmed by then.
I'm just making up excuses.
Oh, okay. I also have to say, I was on board for the whole time that they're all going to be dropped into the floor right there. But the thing I thought about it, the old Jabba the Hutt playset toy I had did that, but in reverse.
Which one?
The floor right here that they're on. We were like, somebody was theorizing in the chat that it was going to open up and drop them all into there, and it
would be hilarious. So stupid.
I think it'd be hilarious.
Everything's a trap door in Jabba's palace. Where's the trap doors? We're all sitting on trap doors. Doors on the toilet. It's everywhere.
You have to really be a fucking idiot to fall into Jabba's trap door. I mean,
and he does the same joke again. There's no Rancor, and you get to do it again. You're like, oh shit! Like we're doing this.
Yeah, you go to the table and you're like, I'm not sitting there, Jabba or Boba. I know that.
And Ula is a moron. I mean, she was there for a little while. She could have figured out it was there. She went and stood right over it and tried to choke him out. Come on, what are you doing?
What food do you think he's serving?
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
I'm just
pancakes.
That's a pretty good guess. Pancakes? Probably pancakes, but
any eggs? You think?
No,
eggs. Yeah.
No. I'm actually, you know what? Oh, I think I see a Church's chicken bucket right there.
Jim's coleslaw.
You know,
Jim's coleslaw. What's that?
It's from Arl Nuts. Watch Arl Nuts Return of the Jedi. They do 6 minutes on Jim's coleslaw.
So at the other end is Dogface Man, the Dogface Beretta. Peter was asking who's at the other side. That's what I see. Do we have a kitty revolt going on?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, kitties are breaking out. Kitties are like, we're vaccinated. We're gonna fucking party, dude.
One more week. No, a few more days.
One more week. Oh,
we're gonna get boosters, and then we'll be able to breathe. Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Yeah, they're not. She's knocking shit over me. Wait a minute.
Oh,
that's my mom. Why is she watching this?
What's
Hi,
up?
Mom.
What's up?
Oh my god!
What's
Why
up?
are you watching this?
Max, mom. That's great.
Hi, Mom.
Everybody,
I thought she was a bot.
The whole family's there. I know. At first, I was thinking that, like, I was like, and I was like, Anne's my new girlfriend. That's what I thought at first, because
Annie, yeah,
because we get spam, Max, Mama Max. Sometimes we get these like spam people, and I just pretend that they're my girlfriend.
Yeah,
it makes me feel loved. It makes me feel desired and like a man. You know?
No, I thought she was a bot, and I was gonna say that's my mom's name.
Yeah.
And then I saw her picture, and I'm like, that's my mom.
I know. Max's mom is everybody get on your best behavior, especially you, Peter.
Now I can't misbehave.
Don't worry, I'll forget.
Max, don't drop the cunt bomb while your mom's watching.
That's like she reads it.
Oops.
Yeah. And then we of course have what everybody is slobbering all over, and that's what do we think? We think her name is Drash. I kind of keep it straight these days.
Skag.
That's an awful name.
Slag.
Scrud.
Slag. What is it?
I think it's Skag and Drag. Skag and Drag. Skag and Drag. I can't remember what her name is, but you know, Pat Benatar.
Joan Jett. Yeah.
Pat Benatar. Yeah. How about Benatar Jet? That would be her Star Wars name. Benatar Jet.
Joan Jetster.
Okay, Jet Benatar. No, Benatar can't be the last name because then it's Stewart. So you have to go. You have to go.
Jet is a very popular name in the Star Wars universe.
Benetaria Jet. That's her Star Wars name. Benetaria Jet.
Benetaria Jet.
Yeah.
It's
very complicated.
Benestar. Jet Benestar is her actual name.
Yeah. So prediction time.
Next episode or no? You think?
I predict we're going to get Power Wheels versions of these Vespas quickly.
Right. I don't think so.
These Vespas don't look as stupid as I fear they will. Like
the land speeder, we had that. The kids loved it. That thing was kind of a piece of shit. Broke really quick, and when it broke down, I was like, man, I'm like, do you guys want to keep this and just push it around? Like the engine was broken. I was like, we could get a new engine. I looked into it. It was barely worth it. So I was like, you know what, guys? I'll just get you the next one that comes out. Next new one never came out. But if they can't sell Luke Skywalker's land speeder very well, I don't think they're ever going to make anything in that line again. Personally, at least not anytime soon. But do you guys think she comes at the start of her episode or not to the very end?
The start.
You're gonna say she gets a full introduction episode.
Mm-hmm.
We move on from there.
Kind of a cheesy episode, cheesy introduction, I think.
Yeah, because I see this and I'm always and all of this stuff has already happened, and I'm like, I wonder if the introduction is her coming at the end of the episode. And then they'll be like, next time on Book of Boba Fett, you're not my dad, Boba. You know, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do.
That's her intro, though.
Right.
That's her intro. Like she's riding the bike and she's like,
but if that's her intro, a lot of damage has already happened. Right.
Yeah.
So that's like, you know,
it looks like Antifa came through Simi Valley.
George is like, the idea is that this is space Portland. You guys don't know what's going on in Portland. You guys don't know.
Wow.
Hey Rob, did you finish the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm yet, or are you still going through it?
Oh, I'm still going through it. It'll be a little bit.
All right. Yeah. There's this bit at the end where he starts to imitate Trump because he knows it works and he needs to do it to the city council. It's so good. It's a lot of people are saying, and he's doing that, and the people are like falling for it.
My wife she can only take like 15 minutes and then she leaves and does something else, and I'm like, excellent. So it's one of the few times I'm like, I just love this show. Like the one I just restarted it over from the beginning. I'll get through them pretty quick.
Yeah,
but the one where he keeps inadvertently like hitting on his friend's wife, like touching her leg, or he makes a joke about them sleeping together and she thinks it's real.
Yeah.
Like yeah, all those awkward moments. I never get tired of that kind of stupid stuff,
Jesse says that 3/4 of the episode, that is his. That's what he thinks. I'm kind of there too. I'm kind of thinking it's like the very, very back end, a little bit of a teaser for the character. The next episode we get more. I hope I'm wrong though. I mean, more or less in the sense that if there is a deeper story to this season of the show, that's more than just everybody. I want to rule with respect. If that's the whole story of the season,
Wait, what is that?
I think if I ask your brother, I could become your stepdad, Max. I think that's what he might be saying. I'm not sure.
Oh my god.
Max, I don't care if you're working, Max. You get on the show right now, and then afterwards clean your room. Every day.
You're gonna send those messages every day.
Max still has all those like fake cooking toy play sets, right? With like plastic donuts and bakery, and like my cousin had this whole room full of them, and she she still has the toys. I'm like, you still have this shit? It's like the like the stove. I just remember the room was just filled with that shit. It was like, clean your room. I'm like, clean what? It's strawberry shortcake figures fucking everywhere. Like everything smells like food, looks like food, but there's no food. And as a little fat kid, I was like, want to eat. This room is hell.
Here,
that's why I tasted Play-Doh. It was no good. Ooh. It looked good. It looked like that little Play-Doh cupcake that Michelle made me. It looked good. And I tried it, and it did not taste good, you guys. It did not taste good.
Yuck.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get Max an easy bake oven. I don't know. Should probably build.
I have a real oven though. I can make some real cupcakes.
You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if as your stepdad, I don't know if I trust you. Really cooking with a real big girl oven, you know. I'm just gonna throw that out there. You know, me and your mom are gonna have to talk about this, and I don't want to hear anything about it until we talk. All right, enough,
yes, sir.
Enough. Yeah, but all right. What else I got? I got one more image because I was just pulling it up and we kind of already jumped the gun. But I was like, we're gonna see Dogface. I have a feeling Dogface is gonna come in that next episode.
So what species is that, or what is?
Well, he's like the same species as Barada, right? But then I hear things like they're Clatuian or something, and I'm like, I thought Klaatu was Clatuian. It gets really confusing, but it's just better if we call him a dog face.
Dog face, yeah.
Old dog face. But I mean, there has to be like something that goes down where they have to have this like sit down meeting, and I'm guessing this is where he decides to actually like put his the gang together. And I think me and Rob talked about this before. It's going to be that like moment in Batman 89 when Jack Napier is first turned into the Joker, and then he paints his face like skin tone and has everybody sit around and figures out who will join and who won't, and then shocks the guy to death. And then it has no bearing on the rest of the movie whatsoever, but great scene. If you just stop it right there, it's a great scene. I don't think it mattered much, but he calls it the Barada Bunch. Yeah. Barada tat tat. But
when he gets real intimidated by Boba, though, he just he piddles the floor, or he shits. He just instantaneously he starts shitting. Like don't. It's not a trap door. We'll have to actually clean that up. And then the Matt Perry droid has to. It's bullshit. No, it's dog shit. It's dog shit.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from the future. And if Star Wars Santa hadn't been hurt due to fate, I think we would have a form to fill out, and everything would be better.
What happened to him?
He just I don't know exactly what happened to him, but I think he hurt his knee and his toe, and so he had to go to the doctor and get it checked out. And so I'm waiting to hear from him to see if he's okay, or how messed up he is. But
I wanted to put Rudolph down, but I ate him and got the gout. No, Star Wars
Joel
Santa, don't.
Says Klaatu is a Nikto. Klaatu is a Nikto.
Is he really?
Yeah.
But sounds like a Devo song we never got, or should have got.
Klaatu is a Nikto. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. I think so. Sounds about right to me. But,
so Robert Rodriguez is directing the next one tomorrow?
No. He's directing the last two.
We're on episode 3. You said 3 and 5, right?
Or the last episode. No, David Klein is doing the photography for 3, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
And I think Rodriguez is directing 7, but we've heard Filoni directing 6. I don't know if Rodriguez is doing 2 or if 7's super long. I don't know how it works out.
Yeah, I'm going to imagine that the last 2 are essentially a long episode of what was going to be the 6th. If what I heard is in the realm of being correct. I heard that it was going to be 6 episodes and it grew to 7. And the fact that if Robert Rodriguez is doing the last 2 makes me think that his ideas for the end satisfying ending is what grew. That's but we'll see if they confirm that or if they ever touch on that in those interviews that if they are doing. But because like I said, like fan scoopers were saying that it was going to be like 9 episodes or something at one point. I'm like, no, that was never even possible. Was it the Nicktoons who kidnapped or was protecting Grogu? Can't remember. Yeah, somebody told me about this theory, and they're like, what if those Nicktoons are actually good? Because like when you watch the episode, like they could be protecting Grogu as opposed to from IG-11 who's coming to get him. And
I heard that too.
Yeah, it's definitely like open enough that you could read it that way, but I don't know if it was intended that way when it started. I just think that it was like, oh, more bandits are getting them, everybody wants them, but so I'm not reading too into it now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Thrawn says Klaatu Barata Nikto were the words Ash was supposed to be top of the Book of the Dead. Yeah, Klaatu Barata Nikto are from the day the Earth stood still, I believe, and that's why it was like that wasn't where the homage comes from. And
Keanu
then
Reeves confirmed for Star Wars.
What?
No, Nick
Oh, yeah, there was that. I was like, what?
I know. Dad, I shouldn't say things so like confidently, right?
No, I was like, I thought you were joking, but I was like, am I supposed to jump on to something here? Because that sounds terrible.
Sorry. I should always do it in a funny, stupid voice.
Bitch face.
Bitch face. Rob's got just bitch face all the time. Like, crying like a little bitch.
But yeah. So for whatever reason though, it became Klaatu Barada Nikto. Don't know if they just were like, we have to change it up more. I don't know why that changed. Later, dude.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by and letting me marry your mom. That was weird though. That was weird, but
stop, Bill.
Oh man! Then next week we come back. I'm all sad. She's left me. You're now Mormon with 2 wives, and I'm just like, it's a soap opera. It's a soap opera. But yeah. So anyways, I think we're gonna call it a show today. A little bit short because we're gonna have so much extra stuff to do by the middle of the day. And I need to get a little bit ready because if things go to plan, Stan is not all doped up, then we should be able to. I should be on Star Wars Santa's show this afternoon. I know he wanted to like do his show. I personally think he should take the day off because been through a lot. Always tomorrow, but if he wants to do it, I'll be on his show later on today. I mean, I'm always down to hang out with Star Wars Santa, of course. But you know, if you get injured, there's no better reason to take the day off than actually getting hurt.
I predict the motorbike Akira scene is from the last episode.
Oh shit!
I think because he went and said it's all from the first episode. Now I'm thinking that's the last episode shot.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, he had to remember how there was the trailer. He had to have only have known that trailer was out when he said that. If he wasn't being a funny guy, and I don't think he would be. I don't think he would do it on purpose. So I think he thought we had only seen the trailer. I don't think he realized that there had been TV spots and stuff like that. And so because
really?
I think what he said is true of the first trailer. Of the actual Book of Boba Fett trailer that we got, and so I'm thinking that's where the mistake came from.
Or that it was only the first 50 minutes.
Yeah. But then the Disney style TV spots that we get for everything, that changes everything. And but I mean, but if any of the rumors are true, what he's saying is not wrong, in the sense that, like, if you get, we still kind of, like, in a weird way, we're 2 episodes in and we're like learning about what happened to Boba Fett, but we haven't learned about what is the beyond telling us what happened to Boba Fett. What's the purpose, right? What's the purpose of the show? Like, where's Boba going? What's he, like, you know what I mean? It's what's the over is the overarching sort of idea. It's hard to be the king. It's hard to try to be on top, or to be on top, and then people are gunning for. I mean, it could be that simple.
Is it that hard?
But I mean, you have Star Wars, and there's a big opportunity for a story here, a lot deeper, and I think there will be one. And so I just think that we don't really know. I still don't know what to think about that leak. I kind of am like, it's feeling like a lot of lucky guessing. All of the elements that were mentioned in it are all places that were already in existence. Like, if the twins had been mentioned, that would have kicked us off. Everything this person's saying is true.
Right.
But if what I've always said, the people, if that person did see a bunch of stuff or everything, they're going to remember what's on the back end, what leaves the biggest, impression or whatever. So, yeah, Dave says the Nemesis has been presented. Now we get major conflict next episode. And then James says, thanks for the invite. What? What?
No, just when people make that, it makes sense. That seems like fan math. Like,
hey, James.
I've just found, like, when it comes to these shows, like, you can't, who is gonna predict, the spider episode dealt with eggs and bathing in little pools and snow thing, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just not, I don't know, like, always assume there's room for, well, it might be a little bit more of a filler episode and they cram everything in the last 2. Like, it is possible,
Yeah, bad organization in shows. It does happen. Dave, Afra denial. Am I supposed to think Afra's coming because of Black Chrysanthemum? Is that the idea? Black Santa?
Maybe that's
yeah, a lot of people are thinking about that, and I'm like, no. I mean, not in this episode. Eventually you're gonna see Afra in something, because everyone's talking about Afra. Why wouldn't they? They'll do that. Afra in this series, I doubt that. I don't see how what she's doing ties into anything.
Yeah, do you think that girl on the bike is Afra? No. Yes? Could she?
I'm more likely Afra to appear in the Obi-Wan series than this, to be perfectly honest with you. But
Black Chrysanthemum has an Obi-Wan Kenobi connection. That's how he got the cut, like over the eye.
Did
that
he have
has.
the cut?
So Wookiees live a long time. How old would Afra be right now? Like,
I don't know.
Afra.
Yeah, no, she would be. She's in the right time frame.
Okay. I just don't see how a person who hunts treasure has anything to do with this story, other than it's that Marvel thing where everyone wants to just see random cameos for no reason. It's like, introduce a new character when you have a purpose, but like, don't just they don't just randomly throw characters in to, like, you don't want these shows to be about cameo walk-ons. You don't want it to be that. It would be bad.
Yeah, right? Like Ahsoka came close to that, but it at least kind of connected and set up another future show. And so I almost feel like if there is that, it would be only for that reason. The reason is to do that because that show's coming. But to the best of my knowledge at the moment, that show's not coming. It's not on the way at the moment. It could be, though. I mean, there's so much stuff coming out. But I don't know. The fact that they just know each other, it's like, I wouldn't mind if they had a good reason, I mean, she does work for people in the underworld, but there would have to be a reason for it.
You guys are all looking at this from like Star Wars fandom. I mean, just look at it from like I don't read these comics, right? I don't have a lot of interest in them. So when I just watch the show, I just see, the Hutt have their own muscle, and this dude looks like a badass, and these two are probably going to fight at some point. He just has great presence.
Yeah.
There's no need to understand where the history is. Like, all that'll come out eventually, but like, it's not necessary. Like, everyone's reading into it like it's a big, this confirms that I thought all the comics were canon, so the fact that there's a comic book should be confirmation enough, right? Unless no one believes that, as my theory seems to hold true.
I didn't see his his cameo or whatever, like comic connection. I just thought, oh, it's a Black Wookiee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it may be that like simple too. I mean, in the sense that, you know, how they kind of like throw in, what was her name? What was the Blue Twi'lek's name? I'm drawing a blank on her name right now.
Aayla Secura?
Yeah, Aayla Secura. That was just a cover that George Lucas saw. Then now the character's on screen, and you know, has like a role in the movies and things like that. You know, and like a backstory and all this stuff, and ends up growing into that. But like, I feel like that Wookiee, I think he was designed and then was really good. And we're like, oh, this is top tier for in terms of doing something like that with a Wookiee. And they were like, yeah. And then they started trying to find a place for him. Mm-hmm. When they saw it, then they like took it, because it could just be any kind of bounty hunter, any kind of, what do you do? Oh, that's a good time. And then they like put him on. And but the thing about it is, with an actual character with like a human face, like Afra, if you were to put her in and it was just as minor as that part right there, now you've cast somebody and you're kind of like locked into that person being it, and you may not use it for 5 or 6 years. That person may age out of being around the age of the character that you want to use and stuff like that. So masked characters and stuff like that, I could see getting a very small cameo in something just because they want to, just for the fan service or just to sell it. But an actual like if Luke Skywalker showed up, the reason why I'm okay with Luke Skywalker being that computer generated version is that they're not going to use Luke in anything anytime soon. Right. Better it's a Mark Hamill CGI representation than making it some guy and then who they don't use Luke again for 10 years and then he can't be it. And now we just have this random dude who's Luke in like 1 second of a show one time. It just gets weird. It starts to become strange. But at least in my opinion. But I would not mind if they brought Afro to the screen and essentially, instead of every episode of a show being about going after someone as a Mando, going after a thing. You know what I mean? And then being able to learn stuff about Star Wars through that thing, and that thing informing us and giving new ideas to the universe. I mean, strangely enough, really underrepresented in Star Wars in terms of that, like the MacGuffin concept. But it was like, here's R2-D2, he has plans. Here's Rogue One, we need the plans. It's just like going after. But never going after like an artifact of importance, like perhaps Boba Fett wanting Jango Fett's helmet or something, something like that. But Afra may be the one who could get that from a collection, you know what I mean? From a collector, I should say, or something, have to steal it back or whatever. And so there's a lot there where I could see it happening, but also I doubt it's the time, I doubt right now is where we're going to see it happen. Dave says, I think an Afro spinoff show would be fun. Female strong Lara Croft style character. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot there to work with, for sure. And in a weird way, kind of strange that they haven't jumped on that train yet. But also at the same time, with how slow things work, as Afro was being created and coming up and becoming like kind of more important, Dave Filoni and Favreau are starting to read that as they're developing what we're getting now. So with that lag, I'm just guessing, and I hope I'm wrong, but I bet you we get an Africa thing, but I bet you it's like 3 or 4 years from now.
Yeah, not so soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that they're making a Rogue Squadron thing and not an Africa thing. If you really want my opinion,
I said I was going to end it, but you just reminded me of something. Did you see that there was that rumor about the game?
I saw the rumor, but I didn't read anything on it.
Yeah, there's like a rumor that a new Rogue Squadron game is being made.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mom.
Bye, Ann. Bye, Mama Max.
Well, they should be making AA games or single A Star Wars games because AAA takes 4 or 5 years. So making a single or AA, when I say AA, I mean like a a $40 to $50 million game that can be completed in 18 months. That has missions and just stop with some story, but missions and levels and medals to achieve and things to unlock and blow shit up, like just beyond some giant epic open world RPG that makes you feel you really went. Like, I got all that, but like take some of the low hanging fruit too and give us just some fun Twitch based arcade cool fun gameplay that doesn't require a mobile phone. Like, you actually use a controller.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you there. Yeah, people were like, does this mean that it's going to be based off of the movie that's not being made? And I gotta say, I'm under the impression that the movie is being made. So
the Rogue Squadron,
I don't think one have to do with the other.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Rogue Squadron will be a movie about Rogue Squadron, and the game will simply be like the games that we've had in the past, maybe with just better graphics, the same kind of things that worked before. Because there's like you're right, dude. There's like no reason that we can't. Why can't I just play a T-16 shooting, going through a canyon, and then the next level? Now I'm part of the Rebel Alliance, and now I'm in an X-wing, and just to relive that stuff and have fun with it,
And we never got like a proper Rogue Squadron game with like Clone Wars missions or Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith missions. We never got those games. Battle for Naboo was sort of the end of that. And Rogue Squadron 3 on the GameCube, but like in terms of the prequel, we never got the prequel versions of those. So
there was one
multiplayer Battlefront.
There was one where you could do like one of the Attack of the Clones levels, and you could be like the dropship
Starfighter
with the lasers, with like the green lasers that come down from the little ball things on the side of the dropships, and that was fun. But that's all I could really recall from it, And James says they won't do a show about a comic character without introducing her in something else first. That's probably
they'll do anything.
Well, I mean,
this is where Chris comes at me and goes, "Well, you predicted they'll do anything." Like, no, I just don't. How do I say this? I get what you mean. Like, they wouldn't have just dropped a Boba Fett thing without putting him in the Mando episode first, right? Is what you're saying. So, but they didn't put Obi-Wan in anything else before giving him the show. Well, he's in the other movies, but not this current. Like they did Rogue. They did Rogue One without dropping any of those characters in anything else first.
Yeah.
So like I feel that if they want to just make it, and in the next 2 things in the pipeline don't make any sense to put that character in, they'll just make it. You understand what I mean? Like,
I will meet you guys in the middle based off of the past history. Not to just play the middle road, but Ahsoka Tano is one of the largest at one time sort of expanded universe style characters, one of the ones who wasn't seen in live action, who then showed up to live action, and they in a classy way shoehorned her into Mandalorian to set up what they were going to be doing in the spinoff show. So that did happen. However, but the 2 other kind of ways that it could happen is number one, but other characters like Sabine Wren, so far we're not seeing that. I mean, she could show up in Boba, I suppose it's possible. But
I love that word.
Yeah, all of those, all of those shoehorned, all of those characters though they it didn't happen there, and so and then like Book of Boba Fett we get as like that post credit scene. So my take is My take is that they could do a Marvel post-credit scene kind of thing. That could be one way of introducing a characters coming very soon who they've cast and are getting ready to get moving and stuff like that. But that kind of method doesn't work how it does for Marvel either. Like Acolyte is down the road. You can't just go and show, and then here's a post-credits scene from 200 years ago. It doesn't really work for those ones. And obviously they really can't do any stuff for that. So I think it's all on the table though. It's all there's like the potential for it all. I mean, at the end of the thing, could I see a thing where it's Boba Fett's palace and at the end we see Afra ripping something off from it? And it doesn't really play into the rest of the story, but it kind of like kicks off just who she is.
Yeah.
It's completely possible. But
to clarify though, the reason why Marvel can do cameos is because more or less, and more than less, those shows all take place roughly within the same livable time period,
same phases.
And so far, the Mando, Boba Fett, Ahsoka series are taking place within the same time phase. But the minute you do something like the Acolyte, we're supposed to have the Acolyte episode. It would be really bad if they had to cram in an episode that's almost like that. The Finucci in the season 5 of Married with Children, they started doing all sorts of stupid shit, and one of them was sticking Matt LeBlanc and his crazy weird father. A whole episode of another show in a show where imagine they define like a Sith temple. And what does this mean? It leads to this thing, and we don't know, and it never resolves. But you'll find out in the new Acolyte series. That would be the worst thing to imagine. Not to say they would do it, but that's where this mindset leads to when you start to cram those things in, you know.
I'm still curious if we're gonna see that old Mando armor come back in one of these things that's in Solo: A Star Wars Story. Like will that show up and be in Acolyte or the one that was
in Dryden Voss's
that red it's red or will we will we see Kira put that on to go fight Boba in season 2 or so? I'm curious if that's gonna. I feel like that was too neat to just leave in the background of that movie and not bring out. I don't know if people are asking for it. I haven't really heard anybody asking for it, but I think that movie's just kind of fallen off because.
Well, I think a lot of people. I think someone would actually kind of wonder, well, why do you have that? What's the purpose of that? Whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and if Kira in theory, Kira would still have it. Maybe if she holds on to some of, I mean, Crimson Dawn, it sounds like is going to be ending, and that's like the other side of all of this stuff is that Crimson Dawn is the comics are making it sound like it's going to be over. So when Kira shows up, is she like the leader of the Nightwind Cats? Like, are they going to do something like they're gonna have to put her somewhere else?
The Nightwind. That's such a funny.
Maybe there's just no Kira in this show. People should let that rumor go because I gotta tell you, like, if you're like, hey, there's gonna be this big thing called Crimson Dawn, it's a big deal, but then it all takes place in the comics and it's never anything live action, then you just did the thing Lucas. It's the worst part of what Lucas would do. Like,
well, let's
don't like.
Let's not end the show, like I said, and hit this. How it's on their part, it's pretty daft. If everyone is saying that Kira is going to be showing up, this is where you break your policy for the love of your show. Because if Kira doesn't show up and everyone's thinking that she is, and there's been clues like via the music and stuff, if she doesn't show up, if she's not showing up in this show, they should drop. Tamara Morrison should be like, I didn't get to work with her at all. She's not in the show. I would love to work with her in the future. This is the time.
To like cut it off.
Because because it's just going to keep snowballing and it's just going to give an angle for people to.
And people are going to be pissed off, I think. A little bit.
Yeah. And that's why I've always, well, it's not exactly true, but Lucasfilm likes to think that they are the kind of company or that they don't get mad about leaks that are accurate. They get mad about leaks that are inaccurate.
Right.
And I understand when like a rumor comes out, they're like, oh, there's a High Republic show coming out about Yoda when he was a baby. And they don't want to just, and if they were to go say that's bullshit, then every single time somebody says something, they have to say it's bullshit, and then we're able to get the truth. I get it, but this show's coming in weeks here. Now is the time where if that's not happening,
and everyone's talking about it. Too.
Everyone's talking about it. It's become like a whole thing, and they're letting it happen.
But the proof that you're right is the Spider-Man leaks. Spider-Man leaks were accurate. All it did was build the appropriate. I always felt a lot of those leaks were intentional. Like it just seems like it's a leak in the way that the Deadpool animatic or proof of concept leaked. Sure, but those were effective leaks.
That's what Jason does.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
He's like leaking right now. He's like, no, I'm just urinating all over myself. Very leaky. I piddled.
Prostate health is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Very leaky.
That's why I only take gecko lizards. You know what I mean? It's a previous episode. So
it's called the callback.
But those are effective, ways to leak. And then when they happen, they build up hype. Everyone goes there. No one's mad. Look, this is why I have a real problem when people say I don't want to be spoilers ruin everything. I'm like, spoilers don't ruin everything. Because when we were kids, all you ever heard about was the choicest spoilery shit about a film you never seen when you go to school. Everyone's talking about, and then Jaws eats the dude in half, and he pulls him up. He pulls up the Jaws, but then you're sitting as a kid waiting for the Jaws to get blown up. And the whole time you're just being horrified. No one's going, oh, it doesn't matter. He gets blown up at the end. Like that's not how it worked.
Old movies used to show you the best parts because they just cared about getting your ass in the seat. And then that was like the whole thing is the old complete used to be best parts were all in the trailer. That's what.
But let's go back even to Batman Begins, which is hitting like 20 years, which is fucking crazy. Like when Batman Begins came out, the question I would get from my friends is Joker in it? Well, not really. Everyone go, oh, he's not in it. No, I don't care. Like that was to not be in something. And
magnets. How do they work?
So it's just like, I just think expectations, the promise of the premise, right? Kind of thing. At no point do I feel like we're leading to a big Crimson Dawn reveal. Like I feel we're leading to confrontation to Boba has to figure out how to kill the Hutts and get away with it. Like that's the only thing I get so far from the 2 episodes of the big, how do I got to put together a group of cats that will let me kill these Hutts so I rule this shit. How do I do it? Like everything else is just fans trying to put in like fan plot, appearance, cameo, that callback memberberry shit. Like look at what you're actually getting. What have we seen? What based on what we've seen, what do you expect from that?
Well, I have two interpretations of the Black Chrysanthemum moment. And the first is the way it's shot. I feel like they are promising a fight. They are the Wookiee is like eyeing them down. It's like this whole thing, but it could just simply be them trying to do service to their character from Marvel and not make him a little bitch in the episode that he finally shows up. And they may be selling the sort of I don't know if it's memberberry, but the cameo. You know what I mean?
Well, hold on. But based on that, so in screenwriting, you got good news, bad news. Here's the good news. I'm now, and people recognize me as being the whatever for the daimyo for Ma says, but bad news. Hutt show up. They challenge your claim. Good news. They're not going to kill me right away. They're giving me time to think about it. Bad news. I have to find a way to kill. I can't just kill them. Right. The good news. I found a way to kill the Hutts. Bad news. There's a fucking 9-10 foot tall Wookiee that will fucking murder me. And I've already been shown to get I'm not like peak Boba Fett. I'm still injured. I'm not at full health or whatever. So like good news, bad news. Like, and if they don't, the bad news is that Wookiee, it's Special K as I call him, right? Special K is waiting to fucking like murk your ass. If that doesn't live up, then they have failed the premise of the promise, right? That scene cannot be a Boba Fett comes into frame like in a special edition, looks around and then walks off. Like don't do it.
I haven't watched the comics, but I saw some other people comment. They already knew each other, right? In the comics?
Yes. Yeah. Boba Fett has already worked with him in the comics.
Boba and Black Chrysanthemum, right?
Yeah. Sounds like a flower.
Were they friends?
They were kind of like working together. I remember it was a Darth Vader book. They're allies, and then they end up getting sent off to different jobs. That's kind of all I remember.
Were they lovers?
This was like
just kidding.
Probably. I'm gonna say and probably I wouldn't say lovers. I would say just more like fuck buddies.
Got it.
You know, your classic Wookiee fuck buddy situation. Rob's like, what the hell is going on now? I'm just gonna say though, I mean the visual of that striking black Wookiee red dog dick against that black fur, it's got to be quite the visual. Star Wars loves to contrast black and red, and so they were
like our ninja theme,
right?
Like our ninja theme,
yeah. But yeah, and then that he also meets Obi-Wan Kenobi, like I said, and gets his eyeball, his scratch.
But I just advise, if you guys want to play the story prediction game, just play good news, bad news, story-wise, with what you see. Forget about what we've said on a show or theories. Like I know, like Jason, news and leaks are really interesting, but sometimes, as you know, things change at the last second. You just don't even know what will end up in the footage. You could have a whole scene where, like, what's a great example of this? Where in Star Wars? There's a whole there's a whole great scene in the Phantom Menace, right? With where Obi-Wan then cuts down there's these surveillance droids tracking him, and he cuts one down, and then they have to like run from Mos. Why is everyone running from Mos Espa, by the way, to rando places in the desert?
What you do?
Like, why doesn't anyone in Mos Espa, I mean, the place from pod racers, you'd think they just have ample fucking bikes. Like, guys, in Phantom Menace is so weird how they're just running out in the desert for no fucking reason. It's even weirder when you see the cut scene where they just decide to run. Like, let's just not take a speeder bike, or, hey, Annie, you got an extra pod line. Your pod still works. Let's take your pod to the. Could you imagine if he was taking the pod with Qui-Gon and then like Darth Maul's chasing him and there's a little bit of a sequence or something, like anything, or like the one speeder, or Anakin's, I got a one speeder, and that's the thing that Vanth was Cobb Vanth was driving, right?
That would be great. It would be great. Master Qui-Gon, I'm gonna sell my pod racer so I could buy my mom's freedom. Sorry, kid. We're gonna need that to get out of here.
They just run. This is so weird. And then he doesn't even do the super fast run. Like, it'd be funny if you picked up Anakin and then, like in Kung Fu Hustle, he's doing that run.
Jake Lloyd's skin
behind him is Darth Maul.
Jake Lloyd's skin would rip off his face if he force ran. If Qui-Gon force ran with them, his skin would just rip off. It would look like they live underneath Jake Lloyd's face.
Yeah.
Mark Hamilton says Meg says the dinner scene is episode 4. So that would lend me because I look at that composition, the lighting, I'm like, I'm not being a Dave Klein hater, but I'm just saying, if that is his shot, the dude has gotten a lot better from what I've seen so far, because I just don't see that composition and that lighting and artistry. He has a way of shooting that I don't much care for Star Wars. So,
right.
Dave Klein?
Yeah, sad to say, not my cup of tea.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about Dave Klein's work or whatever, and I'm just gonna he did one episode so far, right?
Red State is great for Red State, right? Cop Out, he did Cop Out, which is fine for Buddy Cop. I just don't see Star Wars in that vein. I'm gonna say it. Let's look at the first episode that he does of this show. Then we will judge him. We will judge him harshly. Oh, did he already do one? I saw the 2.
He's fine.
Have been listening. Dave Klein did episode 14, the Boba Fett and Simi Valley episode.
I know he did that. I know
Book of Boba Fett episode 1.
Okay, I didn't know he did episode 1. Oh, he did fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he did episode. That's
episode 1 doesn't look bad.
Wait, cinematography, right?
Yes.
God,
the big ILM shots look great. The other stuff it's not so great. Sorry.
The stuff that's shot in El Segundo looks a lot worse at times in The Mandalorian than it looks in the first episode of the Book of Boba. So right now, I think I'm seeing him as
it's a fair call,
as an improvement there. But I'm still with you that the Mando episode he did with Boba Fett out there looked awful. So that right there,
it's irrelevant what I think. I'll just a-hole tell me to a-hole, shut the a-hole up right now, and shut the C word up, Rob, because he's the DP on the entire season of Mando 3.
Yeah,
like, so it doesn't matter what I think. You know, like there's gonna be a whole season of Mando. Like we're gonna get to see all of it.
You know what I predict is over time, as the shows are made on the cheap or just using the volume, I think they're going to end up probably getting a bad rap. That's going to be the easy go-to thing, is that as people begin to be able to identify the use of the volume and as they become accustomed to it, I think it will become an enemy instead of something amazing, which I think it's amazing. But I do think that I think that's going to become the dominant discourse on like the fandom menace side of that kind of shit.
Thor Love and Thunder is the great example of the volume with the budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because the volume, the whole film's being done mostly in the volume. So like that's coming out this year.
The volume's the backdrop, right?
Yeah.
It's an oval. Giant LED. He did give
that round.
Yeah.
Dave Klein did say this about the volume. He said initially they made it a circle, right? Yeah. But the acoustics when you're in the center were all fucked up, and they had to ADR everything. That's why the Mando voice, everything had to get redone. Even the people, everything had to be ADR'd. So when they've built them now so they're oval shaped, so they can capture the audio.
Are you telling me that they censored my girl Gina Carano by redoing her voice? Yeah. Did they do that to the best Star Wars character to ever grace the silver screen on my TV?
Yeah.
And they had Buck Cherry. Right?
Fucking Buck Cherry's like, yeah. I put in LA a lot when Buck Cherry was there, and I was just like, I don't get this. We fought so hard to get rid of this. Why is it back?
Yeah, and then they gave Joker Buck Cherry tattoos. It's crazy.
Can you imagine if they still did the background screen projection that they used to do in the movies, like back in the 30s and 40s.
Rear projection? They still do rear. Well, look, the volume is rear projection.
Yes,
it's just rear projection that tracks with the camera. Essentially it's the same tech. What it also does is allow you to simulate multiple time of day. So they can send one person out to capture all the footage they need versus a whole crew.
Mm-hmm.
But that rear and front projection is why Superman works. The first Superman film of Christopher Reeve. Forget when he's flying, but like all the scenes where he's going and landing and going through. There's whole scenes where he goes behind a bush, and then it's actually like footage they previously shot being front projected, and then they walk off in an area, and you think it's all seamless. People can't tell. Yeah. Like they can tell the flying because we know first a man can't fucking fly, so we get it. But
I thought he could.
The Clark landing on, like the Superman landing on Lois's balconies and stuff, a lot of that's a mixture, and it's done extremely well. Like especially when he takes off and flies, like that's all rear projection where they've put the effect in already.
What was Lois's name?
Margot
Kidder.
Yeah. Can you imagine if like we got that moment, like remember when she reads that awful poem? Like flying,
you read my mind.
Man in love.
I hate
Are
it.
you?
Can
you tell that I'm so wet for your red underwear?
Yeah,
I have to poop.
I know.
Poop.
I know.
Can I poop in sky? Sky falling, love. It's just like, what the fuck is this? All of a sudden, as a kid, I was.
Was that in the movie?
For 5 minutes.
I don't remember.
It's really long.
Narrates a poem when they're flying over. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that look is exactly it, Max. It happens every time. You're like, hanging with yonder. That's what I just got. I got my Pac-Man tray, I set it down. I go in there, I get a pudding pop. I make a nice iced tea. I come back, it's over with. He drops her, she falls, and then we can get back to the story.
Dude, I just remember going, you know something? You're a real pain in the neck.
That's
do you remember
Superman
that
too?
Wow.
Yes.
It's the same movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the same.
Yeah. No, it isn't.
It's the same character.
and that shot, I hear you, but that shot was a Richard Lester shot. It wasn't even an original Dick Donner shot, so it's not even the same director.
They had like a big. They did a Rogue One on it, kind of.
Salakines. If the set, could you imagine if the Salakines were running Lucasfilm right now? Oh, to have the Infinity Gauntlet and to waste it on some useless wish like that.
Mine was to go back in time with a huge bowl of cocaine, Margot Kidder and Carrie Fisher.
There's a photo of her, of Carrie Fisher, Margot Kidder, and someone else I can't remember that you know, all hanging out at like Studio 54. Like you can find it; it's real.
After you told me about that picture of Margot Kidder and Carrie Fisher, I posted it on my story together.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were partying.
Yeah, it's real.
It was just
they
weren't. You couldn't see what they were doing. They were just like walking.
But we know what kind of night they were having, right? Like we can.
Sounds like a good night.
Oh my god! Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, baby.
You know why? Because why wouldn't they? Billy D's taller than Darth Vader. It looks like.
Is that David Prowse? You think? Yes.
No.
No.
No. David Prowse.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And he's also really short. It looks like. No, he's a bit tall. I don't think it's David Prowse though. I could be wrong, but I don't. That doesn't even look like it's a real Darth Vader costume to me.
It is real.
I mean, it's a costume.
All right, but Joel, they sold a pod. My fanfic don't work. It's much better when they just randomly run in the fucking desert for 15 minutes. You got me. Much better idea. It works as is. No need to change. Perfect. Whatever.
I wonder where they're at. Are they in Florida or something? Where is this?
Mark looks helpless.
It's Rio de Janeiro, my friend.
Is it really?
He's like, Daddy, save me, please.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, it's Monaco. They don't pay taxes there. Nixon. What?
Billy D though. Billy D looks pretty cool. Gotta say, Billy D.
You think he breaks a Colt 45 off the belt buckle?
Yeah, it's behind him. It's in the other hand behind him.
I would never ask. I'm friends with his son. I would never ask his son though, because it's just rude.
Who?
But I wonder. Yeah, Corey D. Williams is his son. It's a really good bass player. You should look at his Instagram. It's pretty fun. He's not a bad looking guy.
Just kidding.
He plays Lando in on the Cell Barge in Return of the Jedi. He was his extra.
No, really?
Or his double. Yeah, he's his double. I should say not his extra, his double. And yeah, so he has scenes in Return of the Jedi where you can actually like see him straight out, like see him. And but anyways, I've always been curious if, and we may never know, but was it worth Billy D doing the Colt 45 commercial, like in terms of the monetary money given to him? Because that beer was never a big beer. And I feel like that campaign, I feel like it hurt his career.
As I bust out Colt 45 beer.
Yeah.
Why though? Why have all the to me it just sort of reeks of racism, because it's like everyone does a fucking Bud commercial or beer commercial. Like if it had been Burt Reynolds doing Colt 45, it would have been legendary for it, you know?
Well, it's I mean, it's a little bit different now. We have a little bit different we see endorsements like back then, like George Lucas did the camera endorsement, and it's in Japan, but you never would have seen that in America. Like they never would have done it here. It became like a big deal. But so when you had the celebrity endorsements, it usually meant like you were at the end of your career, you were kind of like sunsetting your like career, and he wasn't, and he was doing it, but it wasn't a beer that was a popular beer either. Yeah, it was like, and so I do think that I'm guessing that it was a beer that was consumed by Black Americans, and that they were looking for a spokesperson to sell that beer to Black Americans. And they landed on Billy D. It's perfectly fine. It makes sense.
I wonder if
first they tried the Wendy's lady. First they tried the Wendy's lady, Jason, and she was like, "Where's the beer?" And then they didn't respond, and so they had to go with something a little more smooth.
Right.
You know what? One time we went to we were in the Wendy's drive-thru, and I asked my friend, "Hey, I didn't say ask. I said, hey, when you get to the the drive-through, I said, ask, where's the beef? And she did. She's like, where's the beef? And they're like, what? She's like,
what?
Where's the beef?
Like, look,
the
man,
Wendy's.
I'm 29.
I was
okay?
laughing.
I wasn't even alive when that was on TV. All right.
She didn't. Well, she didn't. No, she knew what it was, but
She knew it was. Okay.
yeah, she
You're
forgot.
like the fifth person to make that stupid joke today. But like this Lucas, he hits the value menu, then he drives back around and just keeps going in. Oh, where's the beef? you could just go back around and get back in line and do it every time. When they pay you $4 billion, you can just do whatever.
but I never saw Billy D get mad about the Colt 45 stuff, but I think it might have been at Celebration 2. I can't remember if it was at a random convention or if it was Celebration 2, but somebody goes, Billy D, I just want you to know you're a pimp. And he's just like, I'm not a pimp. You know what a pimp is? Like, he was super like because he was thinking of like I think he was thinking of it not like how they would say in the early 2000s, like you're a pimp and everybody's high-fiving you because you're great. They were like, he was thinking of a wife or a woman beating fucking monster, which is what a pimp really is.
A Mac Daddy, right? Which is what...
And yeah, he was not happy about it. And then like 5 minutes later, he's like pulling out these beautiful paintings that he did and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, it was like, yeah, he's a fantastic painter though.
Plus, folks got to know when to read the room, man. Like, just because you have, like once I met, I went to the Schmodown once, met Mark Ellis, right? This is post Force Awakens when there's a dude in the Force Awakens who's in the Conja Club that looks just like Mark Ellis. It's fucking weird as shit. Everyone would call him Conja Club, which fucking drives him nuts, right? Could you imagine meeting him and go, Conja Club? I'd be a fucking asshole. Like, it's just like, I know for a fact at some point someone's going to come up, hey, a-hole. And I'm like, no one knows what you're doing. Mom, like I have good retorts for this, but it's just ridiculous. Like,
you met Mark Ellis?
Yeah, I went to the Schmodown. I saw 2 episodes. Everyone was there that day mostly.
Did you meet?
It was the weekend Schnepp Pass, I had to say.
Christian Harloff too.
Chris, yeah, I met. Not much. I mean, he shook my hand. How you doing? Thank you for coming here. I met Mark Fernandez, which
I don't know anything. So this is all
the Bitcoin guy who bought Collider, who didn't last very long. He's the one that was like, everything's deep fake now.
Oh, right. Yeah. And then didn't YouTube start to make a policy against it or something? And then it became like kind of a problem.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is ethically it's a weird line because it should be very obvious when you're doing like deep fake stuff that it's not real, that it's not legit. At the same time, people aren't very smart sometimes and they will go.
At the same time, how are you supposed to get hired by Lucasfilm if you don't do legit work? This isn't just a deepfake problem; it's a fan art problem. So, like, studios when they want to hire someone to draw a new Superman, they're not looking at if they're looking for new people, they're looking for people on the internet who already drew a Superman. They're not looking for someone who could draw a Superman. Sad to say, I know this because I only get hired for work now if I post fan art. I got my last 4 or 5 big gigs because of fan art. I have a wealth of artwork and published work, but unless they see the fan art, they can't go, oh, this talent could do this. They can only see what that person last did. So if they're looking for people to do deepfake and that kind of work professionally, they have to see it specifically in order to get the work. So it's weird.
So what you're saying is if I dress up as George Lucas and deepfake his face onto mine and say fart scuba diver cunnilingus, and that's my only video, just George Lucas saying that over and over, I might get a gig at Lucasfilm.
You have a better shot at getting a gig than anyone else. You're asking me to remember names, and I have pictures of people, like Suso. Like, was it
because I'm making a fan film that is a Thundercats 2-hour-long Thundercats movie starring Robert De Niro with myself acting as Lion-O. shirtless.
They all have buttholes.
They all have. Yeah, they all
on
have.
the outside of their underwear.
Oh,
It's got a little. It's cut out, and they got that little balloon out right in the back, just to be cat accurate.
It's hyper realistic. like Snarf has some like shit near his ass and his fur with some kitty litter stuck to it. I just feel it's those little details that really bring it to life.
Oh no! Well, are we done?
We did it. We still made 2 hours. Probably killed whatever audience we had, killed off whatever we had left, but that's fine.
Killed off the bots too.
Okay.
Killed off the
Just wait until I don't like the next episode, and then we got to deal with this.
Oh, I hope you. I'm actually hoping you hate it.
Why?
See, I knew when I liked it, Jason wasn't going to believe that I was actually liking episode 2. You could see him go, "Oh no, I think he's."
I was just setting up that if anybody was actually following you, because I know there's like a couple of guys that are like that watch the show just to go, does that fucking bitch Rob like? Oh, I bet he fucking hates it. And then they're like watching, they're like, okay, well. And I was just trying to get ahead of them, going, oh well, now you're just saying it so I don't bully you on the internet. But
they shouldn't call you an asshole. That's rude too.
Well, he is an a-hole, though.
Max with
they could call him something else. No, well, it's equivalent.
To be fair, they said a-hole.
Yeah, well,
they wouldn't actually call him an asshole. They called him an a-hole.
They said a-hole.
What if they called me an L-hole? I'd be like, what? What is it?
Love hole.
Like, you know, they got
a love hole.
Yeah,
they called you an a-hole, not an asshole.
Not an asshole. They called him an a-hole. I felt like he was. I felt like he was being bullied by Napoleon Dynamite.
Right. That's why I said it felt like I'm in SAT. Saturday school. Yeah.
Was it in the chat?
In the comments. The show feedback area, right?
Yeah.
You can go watch. It's there. It's fun.
Yeah, tell me where.
It's all in low caps. Because it was funny because I had read a whole story about how like whatever the quintennials, whatever the fucking word they conjured up for it. The young kids these days like to do all low case. So if you do normal texting where you're like capital T H T R, right? You add the appropriate punctuation, you're being really stern to them. Like you're being formally stern. Yeah. So they do all lowercase. So it's always
here's my featured image.
That's so fucking stupid. Whatever.
It is. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, I thought they were all supposed to be speaking in emojis. Remember when that went away? Thank God, because it was stupid. But they got nothing else. You know.
Well, one last little baby bitty story. The other day we stayed up all night watching Book of Boba Fett until the wee hours of the evening, doing our show, getting all the information out, and I got to get up, 7 a.m., get my kids to school. I'm like 3 hours sleep, man. Super tired, Rob. You know what I mean? And Max texts me, and she's like, "Oh man," she's like, "Some people are kind of mad at you about the featured image." And I was like, because I used the featured image from the episode, and I was just like, "Fuck them! Stay up then. Stay up or stay off the internet." That's my takeaway. Stay up or stay off the internet.
That's true.
But that image could have very well just been in a normal bullshit trailer anyway. Like
it was all over fucking Twitter and all over Facebook. It was people were getting fucking back tattoos in Old English that says the twins. At that point.
He got really mad at me.
I didn't get mad at you. I was not mad at you.
Yeah, he's like, you fucking bitch. Shut the fuck up.
No, I wasn't. I said you fucking fuck slut, shut your fucking whore mouth while the men are talking. That's all I said.
And I got bothered by a-hole. So Jason, you gotta understand, folks. Like a-hole ain't gonna affect me. You should see how Jason talks to him when the cameras are off.
Yeah.
And you get those backgrounds, and you gotta be theme appropriate. Like, oh, okay, Mr. Words. Okay, I'm sorry.
I will say the F word to your face if I have to. Max just wrote, "I'm a fuck slut." Oh, thank you. No, I'm kidding. I would never talk to Max that way in case anybody's too dumb to know.
I'm just kidding.
But I mean, honestly, she's a fucking slut. Anyways, so we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m.
I didn't say any of this. I just want everyone to be very clear.
We were all thinking
I've been very nice to everyone except George Lucas driving around a Wendy's drive-thru over and over again to make the "Where's the beef" joke because he has nothing better to do with $2 billion.
Listen, all I'm saying is that Max needs to be a little bit more chaste here, okay? I'm just really moral about this stuff, and not till you're married, lady. Okay.
One quick prediction. One quick get. Okay, this isn't a prediction. It's a bet.
Okay.
Yay or nay? They ever mention Beskar in the Book of Boba Fett?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no because then it's not important.
And that's how I feel about all their bullshit Afra cameos. Do you see how unimportant Beskar is? That's how unimportant Afra would be to the story. That's that's the parallel I'm trying to make.
But Dave, me and you, we're on the same team here. We both want that to happen. I think
we want it to happen, but in this story, this is what else put it. It would make more sense for them to tell me what happened to Slice Noodles.
Did she die?
I'm assuming, but I thought Max Rebo was dead too, so who knows?
He rolled out of the sail barge.
If Slice Noodles didn't die choking on something with those dick-sucking lips of hers, I'm going to say, what a missed opportunity, George Lucas. Just got to throw that out there.
Was she on the sail barge though?
Yeah, but so was Max Rebo, and I got to say, people have been making jokes about the Max Rebo thing. I've been in bands before. I've played lots of shows. Usually, you don't stick around. You play the fucking show and you get out.
And you leave, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a feeling once he played the second thing, he's got the fuck out.
And by
so
the way,
like Fennec Shan, him and the whole band are just walking away. As soon as they're done, they get their shit, they just walk off. They're walking in the desert back to Mos Espa. And and in the background, they're whoa, what the fuck?
That thing is huge. No, they probably left on another thing, man.
They just walk away because no one has a ride in Star Wars.
Well,
maybe they just walk to Mos Espa. Just
Max Rebo, his snout's longer in this one.
Or microwave under the arm.
Shorter.
Well, it's gravity, Max. With age, that snout is going to hang a little further as you get older. Right? It's gravity. If gravity comes, it gets us all. Yeah. We all have to deal.
I'm gonna predict by the sequel trilogy, Slice Noodle's career is over, and she's turning tricks in the alleys of Mos Espa, and that's where I see it going. That's where I see if Dave Filoni has any balls.
Turns out that the next adventure Tuscan Kid wants to take us to that weird brothel in the middle of the Junlin Wastes. And it's just Slice Noodles and the most burlesque Jawa you could ever imagine.
The first episode is Slice Noodles, spread eagle on a bed. Yeah, she's spread eagle. Kitster's there with his son. Because it's like that weird thing you see on those cinema shows. And he's like,
wanna fuck my Jawa friend, put in a bit, put in it too. And the Jawa's lifting up its ropes, but you
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's like, this is my son.
We've hit the end of the show pretty hard here.
I named him Shitster, the big fucking nerd. And you're going to make him a man today, Slice Noodles. And yeah.
We call him Bigster now.
Bigster.
Turns out he's loaded.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, anyways, that was a show.
Nice show.
Being too long of a show. Because we do what we want. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow, I promise the show will have more form. We'll be more on. Then today was just kind of taking it easy, the quiet before the storm, if you will.
Are we doing a show tomorrow night?
The show is for us. For us. This is our time. Tomorrow will be your time.
Rob, I know you have some plans.
This is our time.
Some plans this week. Are you going to be able to make it tomorrow night?
Yeah, that lines up. I have a configured work schedule that allows all things to occur.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm a fucking professional. Like that's what I do.
We will
Time
be on.
management.
Yeah, we will be on tomorrow, and then tomorrow night we will. We'll be on tomorrow in the daytime, talking about whatever news there is and stuff that to talk about based off of them. There may be a preview, for instance, of the next episode. Stuff to like talk about. And then we'll be back tomorrow.
You
night.
gotta do the size noodle lips for the big photo for the thumbnail.
Right. Well, give it time. Give it time. I mean today I have a Prince Luke Skywalker. I don't know why. So, I was just in that mood today, and that's how the show came out. So, all right, guys. Darth Maximus, see you later, dude. Have a good one.
Bye.
And thank you for joining us, Max. And Max, we'll see you tomorrow night, correct?
Yes.
Rad. All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.